Welcome to Common Sense. Here, we dive deep into history, culture, and society, bringing you detailed analyses of key events, influential figures, and complex systems that shape our world today. Whether it's exploring the life and work of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar or understanding the deeper mechanisms of social structures, our mission is to enlighten, educate, and inspire. Subscribe and join us on this journey of discovery and transformation.
The author argues that small and scattered agricultural holdings are detrimental to India's agricultural productivity. The author examines the problem of small holdings in India, noting that the average size of holdings varies significantly across different regions. For instance, the average size ranges from 25.9 acres in the Bombay Presidency to just 1 to 2 acres in the village of Pimpala Saudagar. The author emphasizes that merely consolidating small holdings without enlarging them would not effectively address the underlying issues plaguing Indian agriculture. The author argues that the common belief that small farms are inherently uneconomic is a fallacy. Instead, the author contends that the true measure of a farm's economic viability lies in the proper balance between the size of the land and other factors of production, such as capital and labor. The author criticizes the prevailing notion that a specific acreage range, for example, 29 to 30 acres, as suggested by Professor Jevons, constitutes an ideal economic holding. The author contends that arbitrarily assigning an ideal size based on a perceived standard of living is flawed, as it lacks a sound economic basis. The author observes that the Baroda Committee, tasked with addressing the issue of small holdings, seems content with the existing average holding size in the Baroda state, failing to recognize the need for enlargement. The author provides a detailed economic analysis of production in a competitive society, emphasizing the crucial role of the entrepreneur in combining various factors of production to maximize profit. The author underscores that the entrepreneur's decisions are primarily driven by price considerations, aiming to minimize costs while maximizing revenue. The author highlights the historical context of land assessments in India, noting that the system of field assessment, while seemingly beneficial for allowing farmers to adjust their farm size based on available capital, ultimately contributed to the fragmentation of holdings. The author cites a joint report that explains how this system, despite its initial intentions, unintentionally led to the division of land into smaller, scattered plots. The author challenges the widely held belief that enlarging existing holdings is the primary solution to India's agricultural woes. The author argues that this belief hinges on the assumption that agricultural stock has increased while farm sizes have decreased. However, citing Mr. K. L. Datta's research, the author points out that the supply of agricultural products has actually decreased due to factors like inefficient tillage, scarcity of resources, and reduced investments in cultivation practices. The author posits that the root cause of India's agricultural problems lies in the imbalance within its social economy, rather than simply the size of holdings. The author argues that focusing solely on enlarging holdings without addressing the underlying socio-economic issues would be akin to treating the symptom without addressing the root cause. The author observes a concerning trend of a declining landman ratio in India, indicating a growing imbalance between the agricultural population and the available cultivated land. This trend suggests that a significant portion of the agricultural workforce might be idle or underemployed. The author emphasizes the detrimental consequences of idle labor in the agricultural sector, arguing that instead of contributing to national productivity, this idle workforce consumes resources without generating proportionate output. The author criticizes attempts to prevent subdivision and fragmentation of land through legal means, arguing that such measures are ultimately ineffective unless accompanied by fundamental changes in India's social economy. The author questions the efficacy of land consolidation efforts, particularly if measures to prevent future subdivision and fragmentation are not in place. The author argues that without addressing the root causes of fragmentation, consolidation efforts would be a futile, cyclical endeavor. The author advocates for industrialization as the primary driver of agricultural improvement in India. The author believes that industrialization would create a more balanced social economy by providing alternative employment opportunities, thereby reducing the pressure on land and facilitating the consolidation and enlargement of holdings. The author supports their argument for industrialization by citing a case study from the United States, 1883, where industrial growth led to improvements in agriculture. The author presents evidence that industrialization, by creating new avenues for income generation, can alleviate the pressure on land and pave the way for a more efficient and productive agricultural sector. The author concludes that industrialization should precede any large-scale efforts to consolidate agricultural holdings in India. The author emphasizes that a robust industrial sector would create a more resilient social and economic environment, making any subsequent agricultural reforms more likely to succeed. Please note that this summary is based solely on the provided excerpts from volume_01.pdf and does not include information from external sources.
Thanks for watching. If you found this content insightful, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, share your thoughts in the comments, and hit that subscribe button for more in-depth explorations into history, society, and culture. Stay tuned for our next episode, and until then, keep questioning, keep learning, and keep pushing for a better tomorrow. See you next time.